Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the New Beginnings podcast. I am your host, Anna, and I'm really excited to start this journey with you as part of our New Beginnings community. In this podcast, I'll be sharing my personal experiences and insights from my walk with God, covering a wide range of topics, including relationships, fitness, health, faith, talking to God, obedience to God, and a lot more. Every Monday, we'll dive into these topics to explore how we can embrace new beginnings in our spiritual lives and grow closer to God. Whether it's finding strength in faith, building healthy relationships, staying fit and motivated, or learning to hear and obey God's voice. Each episode aims to inspire and equip you for the week ahead. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey together. Let's start our weeks with purpose and passion on New Beginnings Mondays.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever episode of the New Beginnings podcast. This is your host, Anna, and I would like to thank you for, first of all, giving time to listen to this podcast and for giving me the chance to talk to you, even in this manner. So, what are we going to talk about? Well, this is literally my first time to record something like this because I feel like God is calling me to do this for a very long time already. He's been putting signs and aligning things in order for me to do this for Him, but I've been hesitating for a very long time because of different reasons that actually is just fear of starting, fear of not being good enough, fear of how do you put this into words? You know what? Doing this podcast thing, I didn't realize it's going to be this hard, but there's a first time for everything, right? I mean, I literally don't have any script in front of me. This is just me recording, like up front. Because today, God just reached out to me and tapped me on the shoulder and told me that I should just start. I've been telling Him for weeks that maybe it's not time yet, or maybe I'm not capable yet, or is this really your calling, Lord? Please give me more signs here and there. But He put into my mind just today that if you really want to serve God, just serve Him. Stop waiting for signs. Stop giving Him reasons. Just stop overthinking, because overthinking, that can be used by the devil just to stop you from serving God. Honestly, it's been like a month already or more that God told me that I should start this podcast, but I didn't because of a lot of things that the devil is putting in front of me. And today, suddenly, just boom, the Lord told me to start. Start it. Even if you don't have a script, start it. Even if you think you're going to fail, start it. Even if there's no certainty that anyone would listen to this, start it. I just want you to start it. Give me a chance. So, well, here I am. And I just want to dedicate this podcast to God, because without Him, I'm nothing. I'm lost. I'm just me. You know, there's nothing wrong with being yourself when you're in this world, but once you entrust yourself to God, you will see your real purpose. There are a lot of people here on earth that are just living because they're living. They don't have any purpose. That's why they get depressed all the time. That's why they do not feel fulfilled. They do not feel contented with whatever they have, even though some people have a lot already, but there's just something missing. And for me, that's God. That's the purpose He's giving you. It brings this different view of living in this world. I used to be there. I used to be that person who's just living for the sake of my family, living for my work, living for my husband, living for my son, living for myself. God has opened up a lot of different doors that led me to serve Him. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, just serving Him, because I think that's my purpose. I told God on my devotion every morning, Lord, I want to serve you. Use me whatever way you want, because my life is yours. You gave me this life. Therefore, use me to further your kingdom. And it's funny how first He used me into creating a book. He fulfilled my dream of becoming an author. When I was a kid, it was my dream to become an author because I just love reading books. Whatever subject that is, I just love reading books. I'm a book nerd. He aligned everything, and He gave me the topic He wants to discuss for the book. He gave me the points, the stories. It's called How to Stay Positive in a Negative World, a Christian's Guide on How to Eliminate Negative Thinking. This book, I wrote it because, let me tell you a little backstory. I was attending church, and then while I was listening to the pastor, he was talking about the life of Joseph. And he shared this powerful quote by Helen Keller that really struck a chord within me. It says, character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. And when I heard that, it really got me thinking that these challenges that I'm facing in my life, it's there to strengthen me. I used to be that person who questions God. Every time I'm experiencing challenges, I would say, God, why me? Why this challenge? Why are you doing this to me? I thought you loved me and blah blah blah. But as I reflect on that quote, I can totally see that God is using negative situations, and it might hurt at that moment and you might not see it at that moment, but those negative situations, He will use it for His glory in the future. So I don't want to drift so much about this, but basically I've been on that negative side, negative thinking, always questioning God. But then He tapped my shoulder and said, no, you're a positive girl. You want it to be positive. So this book, write it down, inspire others. Inspire others how to move from negativity to positivity. So there, I just wrote it. So it's there if you wanna buy it, purchase it, it's there. I'm gonna do a promotion soon on giving it out for free because I really want everyone to learn how to be positive, because this world is just rolling through the negativities, But anyway, back to this podcast. There. So again, this is another calling from God. I was actually asking God if He wanted me to create another book or do something else for Him, and this is His answer to me. He's impressing podcast after podcast to my head and telling me that I should do the same. And mind you, I do not know anything about this, how to start it, how to do it. So please bear with me if there are some things here that's not good. I'm really not good at speaking. Really, it's not my thing, but when God wants you to do something for Him, you just have to obey, because obedience means blessing. So what are some things to expect on this podcast? This podcast would speak a lot about God, Jesus, the Bible. I'm going to be sharing personal experiences, biblical teachings, and anything that God brings to my mind to talk about, because I know this would be a medium for Him to talk to you as well. And I really hope and pray that everyone who's listening in this podcast would be blessed, be touched by God. This podcast is just, I would share my vulnerability in this podcast. It's going to be raw. I don't even know how to edit yet, but we're gonna walk through this with the help of the Lord. Okay, so every listener is welcome here, but hopefully I'm not just talking nonsense here. I want God to use me to impact other people through this podcast. And I just want to say to everyone, thank you for giving time to listen. And hopefully we'll be able to grow in our faith together. in this podcast. Thank you for listening and giving me time. And I'll see you on the next episode.